Tonight, a government resignation. Jamie Hepburn, the Scottish minister at the centre of an assault allegation against Douglas Ross, steps down. Former Conservative leader says it's the right decision, but too late.
John Swinney should have seen this was clearly inappropriate, absolutely a breach in the ministerial code, and he should have sacked his minister last night.
Also making the headlines as the former First Minister Humza Yousaf says migrants are being used as scapegoats for the failures of politicians. We hear from refugees who are hoping for a better life in Glasgow. A Scottish Cup winning footballer, James Keatings, is jailed after admitting being involved in a money laundering operation. And in sport, the Celtic boss Brendan Rodgers accuses former Rangers coaches of showing a lack of respect towards Russell Martin.
I have some issues around the moral aspect when I see people commenting on how he's doing, and not that long ago they were stood in his shoes.
I'm John Mackay. This is the STV News at 6. Good evening. The Scottish Government minister has resigned following an altercation with the former Conservative leader Douglas Ross. What began as a row over seagulls has ended in Jamie Hepburn quitting as Parliamentary Business Minister. He admitted grabbing the Tory MSP and swearing in his face. Political editor Colin Mackay broke the story this afternoon. So, Colin, what changed?
Well, 24 hours ago I told you that Jamie Hepburn wasn't for quitting. I told you that the First Minister wasn't for sacking him. What a difference a day makes, because this all stems from a row on Wednesday as they were leaving the chamber together after a vote on the Victims and Witnesses Bill had been delayed very slightly by Douglas Ross, demanding a ministerial statement about seagull attacks. Yesterday, Douglas Ross said that he had suffered a ministerial attack. He accused Jamie Hepburn of physical assault and verbal abuse. Jamie Hepburn admitted grabbing Douglas Ross by the shoulder and offering what he described as a few choice words. Now today, in his resignation letter, he says he's reflected on the incident and that he's not acted within his own personal code of practice. Earlier today, Douglas Ross wrote to the First Minister to say the incident was a clear breach of the ministerial code of practice. Here's his reaction to the resignation.
It's a correct decision. I was very clear that when it happened, I thought it was completely inappropriate, and the only course of action would be for him to either resign himself or be sacked by the First Minister. He's now resigned a day on. I've also received a personal apology from him, which I appreciate. But I also think John Swinney should have taken this decision yesterday. Indeed, I said that in Parliament when I was asked by journalists that now the facts were out in the open, John Swinney should have seen this was clearly inappropriate, absolutely a breach in the ministerial code, and he should have sacked his minister last night.
Now, Douglas Ross really gets under the SNP skin. He clearly really got under Jamie Hepburn's skin, and his reaction has cost him his job in government. And things move very quickly around here. After 11 years as a minister, he's already been removed from the Scottish Government's website. But I think the key line in Jamie Hepburn's resignation letter is that he doesn't want to cause any distraction for the First Minister. In the run-up to the election next May, they don't have time for long, drawn-out rows, resignations or scandals. Let's face it, the SNP and the Scottish Government have had enough of those over the last couple of years. So today, Douglas Ross has got his political scalp. Jamie Hepburn is out of government, and the First Minister will replace him next week.
Colin at the Scottish Parliament, thank you. The former First Minister Humza Yousaf has told STV News migrants are being used as scapegoats for the failures of politicians. His concerns come following multiple protests outside hotels housing asylum seekers in recent weeks, with more planned for this weekend. Meanwhile, despite the anger, refugees living in Glasgow have told STV News they're hoping for a better life in the UK. They're being supported by a homeless charity who are warning the pressure they're under is the worst they've ever seen it. Vanessa Taff reports.
So we're going to read these in groups.
This language class is helping refugees improve their English.
Make sense? Perfect. Okay.
They're being supported by Glasgow City Mission and are legally allowed to be in the UK. But they're homeless, living in hotels across the city.
And living now in the hotel. And after he give me a temporary home.
What is the hotel like? Is it good, bad? It's good. Hotel is good. Accommodation is good. All of them is good.
And Glasgow and people very nice. You help refugee.
Omid is a regarded musician in his native Iran but fled religious persecution.
I need a place for practice music. I have a family in Iran. Have a 2 children. I'm grandfather now, but I'm missing my family.
There's growing anger and frustration in Scotland surrounding the levels of illegal immigration. Many revolve around the housing of asylum seekers and homeless refugees in hotels. It's become a toxic topic, dominating politics and politicians' failure to get a handle on the issue.
The failures are not because of migrants. They are often political choices that are made, and the fact that migrants have been an easy scapegoat. You're perfectly legitimate to have a concern about your living standards, about your housing, about the fact that it's taking you time to get your GP appointment. You're fine to critique Scottish Government, Scottish Parliament, MSPs on that point. But what we're not doing up here, until I'm afraid recently we're beginning to see and hear some of this in the Scottish Parliament, but what we've not done over 25 years of devolution is pointing the finger at migrants or refugees.
There is a systematic understanding that people in politics just don't get. For working class areas like here in East and Glasgow and across the Central Belt, they feel as if they've been left behind and forgotten. We have seen politicians for years from both SNP, Labour and Tory have uncontrolled migration. People are expressing their anger, they're expressing their frustration, and they're using that to try and send a clear message to people like Hamza Yusuf.
Charities are working around the clock, providing hot meals and other services for homeless refugees and asylum seekers, sometimes by those who have been in that position themselves.
We're cooking for 100, but now it's 200. It's the double of the people. The helping, I think for the government it's more difficult to help, but it's a lot of people.
There's a big pressure on homelessness services in Glasgow. That's something that's been building for many years, but it's the worst we've ever seen it at the moment.
While most have come here in search of a better life, more anti-immigration protests over the weekend may not provide the warm words and welcome some were hoping for. Vanessa Taff, STV News in Glasgow.
The issue of how to house refugees and asylum seekers has risen to the top of the political agenda across the UK. Our Westminster correspondent, Paris Goutsianis, joins us now. And Paris, how is the UK government trying to deal with this problem?
Well, John, ministers have been trumpeting the first deportations under the one-in, one-out deal with France. 2 confirmed so far, more expected imminently. And this is where migrants who cross the Channel are effectively swapped with those who already have refugee status in France. But even that involved a last-minute legal battle, and measure that progress against the more than 30,000 who have crossed the Channel so far this year, and also the asylum backlog, which, even though it's been coming down, stands at more than 100,000. The UK government says that the deal with France will act as a deterrent to those seeking to cross the Channel. But if you look at the picture behind me, it's been a warm, calm, clear day here in the southeast of England, and it's reported that hundreds of people have been making that journey today. The political impact is not surprising. The Reform Party is stretching its lead at the top of the UK-wide polls.
Paris at Westminster, thank you. A Scottish Cup winning footballer has been jailed after admitting being involved in a money laundering operation. James Keatings, who won the trophy with Hibernian in 2016, was caught delivering almost £400,000 in cash. He's been sentenced to 13.5 months in prison. Our senior reporter Gordon Cree was at Falkirk Sheriff Court.
James Keatings came to court this afternoon to learn his fate after pleading guilty to possessing and transferring criminal property.
Do you expect to be going to jail today, James? The sheriff told Keatings, "I recognise there are significant features in mitigation in this case, but I regret a custodial sentence is the only appropriate one given the gravity of the offence." He jailed him for 13.5 months. Keating showed no reaction in the dock before he was led away.
In June last year, Keatings was being watched by officers from the Organised Crime Partnership when he moved 2 boxes from his van and put them in the back of another one in Wishaw. When that vehicle was later searched, police found 78 bundles of banknotes totalling £390,000. Keating's fingerprints were on it multiple times. The 33-year-old played for a number of clubs, including Dundee United, Hearts and Hibernian, whose current manager was a teammate when they won the Scottish Cup in 2016.
I have no idea. I don't really want to comment on that if that's possible, because I don't know anything about it. So all I can remember with Keith, obviously, as you say, was he's part of a very special group of players that I've a special moment in my life. But apart from that was purely professional.
Keating's defence advocate told the court his football career had been ended by a hip injury, that he'd gone from earning a 6-figure salary to his only source of income being work as a plasterer. He was said to be in constant physical pain, wanted prescription painkillers in bigger quantities, met people who could supply them, and was offered being paid in medication for moving the money. Tonight, the National Crime Agency said it will continue to bring offenders like Keating's to justice and disrupt their criminality. Gordon Cree, STV News, Falkirk.
Testing newborns for spinal muscular atrophy could be a game changer for children with the rare genetic muscle wasting condition. That's according to one Edinburgh mum who has been campaigning for the move. Scotland will become the first nation in the UK to introduce the scheme as part of a pilot from early next year. Lewis Mickey has been finding out more.
6-year-old Nathaniel has a rare genetic condition called spinal muscular atrophy, or SMA. It causes progressive muscle wastage. Nathaniel was diagnosed at 11 months old. There's a range of treatments which can help him to thrive, but a lot of damage was already done.
Knowing something was wrong and not knowing what it was always so horrible. It was such a lonely place to be.
Roughly 47 babies are born in the UK each year with spinal muscular atrophy. It happens because they are born with altered SMN1 genes, meaning the lower motor neurons in the spinal cord deteriorate. Of those 47, 60% will have the most serious form of SMA. Until 2019, there were no approved treatments for SMA in the UK. Now there are 3, and if started early in life, it can have a big impact. Just last year, Bernadette spoke to STV News about the campaign to add SMA to the newborn screening test, which can help detect conditions like cystic fibrosis from just 5 days old. The Scottish Government has confirmed the condition will be added as part of a pilot from early next year.
I was so happy. I mean, I was literally in tears hearing the news because it was just so positive, and that we've been waiting for so long.
While Nathaniel does have to contend with the challenges of SMA, that hasn't been holding him back. Now into Primary 2, he's doing well and has had a glowing report card.
What's your favourite thing to do at school?
PE.
PE? And what do you do in PE?
Well, we run around and play games.
The charity SMA UK has been lobbying all governments across the UK to make this change. The Scottish Government will become the first to do so.
If you're tested in the first couple of days and diagnosed with SMA, we're really fortunate now to have 3 disease-modifying therapies available. They can be given, and in many cases, those children can actually now grow up to follow normal development pathways.
And Nathaniel and Bernadette's campaigning will now make a massive difference for children in the future born with SMA.
Mama!
Lewis Mickey, STV News, Edinburgh.
An industrial park for artificial intelligence near Irvine could receive up to £15 billion of investment. North Ayrshire Council says the hub could be transformational for employment in the area. AI Pathfinder, the company behind the project, wants the site to become one of the largest of its kind in Europe. A man has been charged with organised crime offences linked to the exploitation of young people and shoplifting in Glasgow. Police searched a property in the Pollock area earlier as part of an investigation into thefts by youths for crime groups in the city. A 52-year-old man was arrested and will appear in court on Monday. 2 men are to stand trial charged with the murder of a woman in Glasgow. James McCrindle and James Peta are accused of attacking Sandy Butler in a street in the city's Townhead area last October. They also face a separate accusation of attempting to murder a man on the same day. Defence lawyers pleaded not guilty, with a trial set for November next year. Well, you might remember seeing pictures on social media of this man with his pet sheep on the trains. He's 61-year-old Army veteran Jai Gibson. Today, he's embarking on a journey across Scotland to raise awareness about homeless veterans and raise cash for charity. Our reporter Raheem Cham tells us more.
He draws attention everywhere he goes.
It's a girl. Oh, go hi!
A man calmly walking with his pet sheep.
I think it's great. It's very unusual.
A little bit surprising, yeah.
Actually, it's very weird to see a sheep in the city.
Well, it was a llama, I swear to God. I thought it was a llama and I was like, oh, it's a sheep.
But what many don't know is the reason behind it. 61-year-old veteran Jai Gibson served in the Falklands, Iraq and Afghanistan over the last 3 decades. Today, he lives with PTSD.
With my PTSD, I struggle. I go to war with myself so many times. I just have these people around me that help me, and I just want these guys to know that there is people out there that can help them.
For the past decade, Jai has been homeless, living in a field in Ayrshire, where he adopted a lamb named NJ after his mother died at birth. What began as an act of care quickly became something much deeper. NJ has become a source of comfort and therapy for Jai's PTSD.
Being able to care for something, and that's my vehicle. I hang on to that, and I'll hang on to her as long as I can. And it's just being able to find something to care about.
Now Jay is setting out on a journey across the country with NJ to raise awareness about the struggles veterans face after war, as well as raise cash for the homeless charity Social Bite.
Well, I've got her, and I can get attention for Social Bite and basically try and raise money for the homeless. They don't have to be homeless veterans, but generally I'm aiming at homeless veterans. But if anybody's out there, just buy them a meal, you know.
5-month-old NJ is a Leicester Cross Swale. She's just getting used to this newly found fame. We've been walking for almost 30 minutes now, and it's lunchtime for her.
Through his bond with NJ, Jai hopes to show that even in the hardest battles, compassion can offer a path to healing. Raheem Cham, STV News, Glasgow.
Rahman has the sport, and some believe this is a critical weekend for the Rangers head coach. Rahman.
John, I always remember one former top-flight manager saying to me, it's deja vu all over again. I know what he meant by that. We've been here before with Russell Martin. Huge game for him and Rangers tomorrow place Hibs in the League Cup quarter-finals. Now, some reckon it's win or bust for Russell Martin. He believes he's got the backing of his bosses and today an ally from across the city.
Your window to sport. C.R. Smith sponsors STV Sport.
Good evening. Brendan Rodgers has accused recent Rangers coaches of showing a lack of respect towards Russell Martin for criticising the job he's doing at Ibrox. With Rangers now sitting 10th in the Premiership and still winless in the top flight, pressure is growing on the head coach, with his tactics and methods coming under scrutiny. More fans' demonstrations are planned at Ibrox tomorrow, calling for Martin to be sacked. He says he understands the supporters' feelings. Here's Ron Charters.
Just 3 months into his reign at Ibrox, Russell Martin is finding the going tough, very tough. And he'll face the heat before a ball is kicked tomorrow evening. Protests will take place ahead of their cup clash against Hibs, calling for Martin and the man who hired him, Chief Executive Patrick Stewart, to be sacked.
The fans' protests and stuff I can't control at all, so I don't spend any time. I have to respect it. I have to understand their frustration and their annoyance, but I feel every bit of it as well. But I do think it's an amazing opportunity for us as a team to come through this period and to grow through it and to be so strong from it.
And as heat on Martin intensifies, he found an ally across the city. Brendan Rodgers took aim at those who've been critical of the Rangers head coach, not long after those same critics were in the Ibrox dugout.
I have some issues around the moral aspect when I see people commenting on how he's doing, and not that long ago they were stood in his shoes or sat on the bench. So I don't like that when I see a manager being pulled up on in certain parts of the game, certain tactics of the game, that not so long ago other people couldn't work that out either.
Earlier this week, Martin took the squad on a team bonding trip to Loch Lomond. Today, the head coach explained why.
This city's so intense, the club's so intense. I think to step away from it sometimes is a good thing. Lads can take a breath, actually spend some time together where they're not just playing football and being worked. And so I think it was good. I really enjoyed it. I think if we did it when we're winning, no one says a word.
Elsewhere, an independent panel has found VAR got two major decisions wrong in Rangers' defeat to Hearts. Lauren Shanklin's goal should not have stood due to handball. And Rangers should have been awarded this goal, despite being ruled out by referee Stephen McLean for a foul on the goalkeeper by Tello Asgard. Ronnie Charters, STV Sport.
Well, the independent panel also deemed Celtic were incorrectly awarded a penalty against Kilmarnock last weekend. Following a VAR intervention, referee John Beaton reversed his previous decision, penalising Lewis Mayo for handball deep into added time. From the spot kick, the champions scored to win 2-1. Killie were furious. One Celtic defender believes players aren't clear about the handball rule.
Yeah, it's confusing, and then there's differences in while you're playing in Europe and internationally to what it is in the league. We've been through it, we have meetings, but it still is confusing, and I suppose you just have to get on with it and let the referees deal with that. For me, I've just started defending with nearly my arms behind my back when I'm in the box. I don't want to spread my arms just in case. If I'm defending a cross or a shot, you're trying to block something.
Well, Celtic travelled to Firhill in their quarter-final clash, and Partick Thistle head coach Mark Wilson says the revenue made from the Glamour tie has already saved jobs at the club. The game on Sunday is a sellout, with away fans given an allocation of around 6,000 for the match.
Clubs like ourselves, of course, weren't flush with cash, and before this game, then there was meetings that took place above me here in the office, and people's jobs were at risk. So when you get a tie like Celtic pulled at the hat at home and it's a sellout, it goes a long way.
Well, ahead of Hibs' trip to Ibrox tomorrow, David Gray has urged his players to ignore the noise around Rangers. Well, Gray's side go into the match after coming down from 3-1 down to draw against Dundee United in the Premiership last weekend.
I think the big thing is to ignore the noise, because one thing, this challenge and test is a real difficult one. We know that. The players they've got, experienced manager, it will be a really difficult game. We need to be at our absolute best, regardless of who the opponent is. What's going on with the opposition or what's been said to be going on with the opposition is something I can't control. The players certainly can't control that. All we can worry about is how we can sort of turn up and try and give ourselves the best chance to get in the next round.
Your window to sport. C.R. Smith sponsors STV Sport.
And the first of the League Cup quarter-finals takes place at Rugby Park tonight, where Kilmarnock hosts St Mirren in the remaining last 8 tie. Livingston travel to Aberdeen tomorrow. Football, football, football. That was on your menu tonight, John.
And good it was too. Rahman, thank you. To Philip with the weather now, and what's in store this weekend, Philip?
Well, John, overall, there's quite a lot in store this weekend. To sum it up, I would call it changeable. We'll see showers, we'll see sunshine, but I think the main thing we'll notice is the drop in temperatures. By Sunday, we'll be in a northerly airflow, and if we trace the isobars back, the winds are coming in from the Arctic. So where we've been seeing highs of 19 degrees, 20 degrees Celsius in some spots this week, by the end of the weekend, we'll be seeing highs of 12 degrees, 13 degrees. So it will be noticeably colder outdoors. Come Monday, though, like I've been saying, a settled and largely dry start to the new week. Let's take a look at the forecast.
Outbreaks of ancient sites will gradually settle into an evening of pizza plates al fresco. TUI sponsors STV Weather.
So for most of this week, our weather has been dominated by low pressure, and with low pressure, it normally brings the changeable and unsettled conditions. But like I've been saying, this high pressure is arriving from the west through the second half of the weekend, helping to settle our weather down, and it sticks around throughout Monday and into Tuesday. Back to just now, and as we head into the overnight period, we have this waving frontal system draped across the country, bringing with it some rain, mainly across the very far south and southeast. Elsewhere, though, remaining largely fairly dry overnight. We will see some clear skies, so some rural spots could get down to around 6 or 7 degrees Celsius overnight. Looking ahead to tomorrow morning, some brightness around first thing tomorrow. A dry start for many of us. Gradually, though, as we head into the afternoon, we'll start to see these scattered showers from the north feeding in, and they become fairly widespread. But there will be brighter spells between the showers, and in the best of the brightness, temperatures reaching highs of 15. So our temperatures have come down a degree or two, and that's because our wind direction has changed to more of a northerly. So we're dragging in colder air. Overnight Saturday into Sunday, our temperatures take a bit of a plunge. So Sunday morning, it will be a chilly start across the country. Overall, Sunday's a day of sunny spells and 1 or 2 isolated showers. But look at those temperatures, highs of only 12 or 13 degrees Celsius, with the wind chill feeling more like 3 or 4. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors STV Weather.
And finally, Take That have announced a return fixture at Hampden as part of their Circus Live tour next year. The band will play at the National Stadium in June before releasing their next album at the end of the year. Laura Boyd sat down with them.
I just want you back for good.
The idea of joining the circus and going out with this again next year, brilliant. Couldn't think of, rehearsals, just let me into all of it.
Yeah.
It's just a great memory. And the idea of bringing this show back, I think it's a good one.
And we're so proud of it. As a show, we were so proud of it back then, and to be able to go out and relive it is amazing for us.
And I have my tartan on.
I
guys.
love your tartan.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Because you're coming to Glasgow.
Oh yeah.
Back to Hampden Park.
How amazing that, first of all, that's really exciting, because what's wonderful about the circus is we get to play outside. At Hampden Park, we have great memories from doing Progress and the circus there in the past, so we're really excited.
What is it that makes Scotland so special for Take That?
How would it say the golf?
I know he was telling
not
me.
for Take That. I think as a country, it's just beauty.
Yeah. Will you be getting in some golf when you're there?
I mean, without a doubt. I make sure that the hotels are by the side of golf courses.
He's not joking. we would go, why are we driving for an hour and a half?
An hour and a half.
To fund his golf.
I love this. The Glasgow crowd.
The passion.
Go wild. Or Scottish crowd, yeah. They are so passionate.
It's the passion.
Something Glasgow taxi drivers still remember, the one from 2009. From all of us here, thank you for watching. Have a good weekend.